Good afternoon. Sweaty Gorilla interview number 4, following up from yesterday's one with Nick about the retreat he's organising based on psychedelics, yoga, Jyotish. Today I've come back down beside the Ganges, and you'll see in a second how much the river has come up because we've officially entered monsoon season and the river's risen a lot already in one day, and I got very wet walking around this morning. I'm here with Asha, and Asha, we're going to talk to Asha in a second because Asha's very central to 2 stories I want to talk about, which are really about synchronicity, which I'm fascinated about, particularly now with this interest of mine in Jyotish. And I'm not sure about events which are statistically impossible to happen when they do happen. And I just wonder if it is a quadrillion chance, or synchronicity is basically the planets and the universe working in our favour. So that's what I want to talk about. So I want to talk about 2 stories. The first story is when a friend of mine, Oceana, and I went on a Royal Enfield trip up into the hills of the Himalayas, and you can see that's Rishikesh over there behind me, and you can see how much the river's come up. In fact, where we're sitting on these steps, if it really rains, these steps here will be underwater because the river will come up so much. So Oceana and I are riding up into the hills, probably an hour and a half from here, up really high into the Himalayas to go to a special temple up there and a special cave system where we did a special meditation in the caves. The sun's gone down, we're coming back down like a 2-meter mountain track, a goat track through the hills, and all of a sudden I'm on a Royal Enfield Himalayan 450cc adventure bike, which was just the best way to get up there. And we're coming down, and I notice some movement about 2 meters in front of me on the right, and then out comes a large mustard coloured leopard. There are leopards all through the hills in this state. There's some tigers as well, but the tigers are a long way away. But leopards live close to human civilization, but really don't want to have anything to do with humans. So if you live here, you might see 1 or 2 leopards in your lifetime, but according to the locals, it'll be like in the distance in the trees. So I'm coming down on the Royal Enfield, and 2 meters in front of me, a large mustard leopard appears out of the bush, keeps moving across the road, but then a nanosecond later, and I've come to almost a stop now, the really large alpha male comes out, and he's got like this glimmering orange coat with the sun going down. He's jacked, like he's been working out, like he is the alpha male. He's on the hero's journey, and he pauses on the road, turns, looks at us both in the eyes because I've stopped by now, and he kind of says, okay, I'm on the hero's journey, I'm the king of this jungle, and today I'm going to let you pass. And then he moves on across the road. So now that's 2 leopards that I've seen within about 2 minutes. And the interesting thing, in the caves, I was talking to Oceana about the Walter Mitty movie, where Walter Mitty goes to see Sean Penn in the mountains, who's waiting to get the photograph of the snow leopard they've been looking for. And Sean Penn, when the snow leopard finally appears, chooses not to take the photo, and Walter Mitty goes, well, how come you didn't take the photo? And Sean Penn says, there are some experiences in life which are so mystical, so magical, that you don't want to experience it down a camera, and you want the memory to be experiential, not recorded on film. And I had been talking to Oceana about that about 30 minutes earlier in this bat-filled cave, and I have no idea how that conversation came up. And I'm really glad that I'd chosen not, because I have an Insta360 camera on my bike at home, I'd chosen not to turn the camera on. So that memory now is permanently recorded in my brain as an experiential memory, not something on a photograph. And the interesting thing was, I thought we'd had a couple of cups of ceremonial cacao before we'd gone into the temple. And I thought maybe I'd had too much ceremonial cacao and had just imagined it. But very quickly, Oceana was screaming in delight, because she's a cat person, and just saw two giant cats. I realised I hadn't imagined it. And then we're riding back down, and it takes about an hour and a half to get home, and then we're a kilometre from the yoga studio where I'm staying in the foothills of the Himalayas. And I look down and I see something moving beside the bike. I'm riding slowly on this bad road, and I look down, there's a juvenile leopard that I had accidentally pulled up beside. So I've seen, Oceana and I saw 3 leopards within about an hour and a half, and people I spoke to, a retired colonel from the Indian Army, and he said he's lived here for 85 years and he's not seen anything like that. So it was just incredible, and it was a story within a story, with a Walter Mitty story followed by these leopards that we got to see, that locals who live here in the village have not seen anything like that. Fast forward to a couple of days later, I'd taken Oceana on the back of the bike again, and we'd gone to have a swim in the Ganges and gone out for a lunch. And we're riding back now at the end of the day, and the bike is very low on petrol. And we stopped in at 2 petrol stations to fill up, but they were both out of petrol. Oceana remembers that the last bridge, you can see actually, speaking of bridges, that's the Lakshman Jewel Bridge, correct, Asha? Yes. The Lakshman Jewel over there, which is a famous bridge in Rishikesh, just over there. But we were at a bridge about halfway between the city here and the yoga studio in the hills that I was going to. It's probably about half an hour back to the city, half an hour onto the yoga studio. Oceana remembered that the shops either side of the bridge had 1 litre bottles of fuel, and that we could probably stop and get a quick top up there. We get to the bridge, we stop at the first side of the bridge, which has got a couple of shops, and I asked some guys there, and they said, no, there's no petrol here. So now I'm a bit worried, because by now the empty fuel sign had been flashing for half an hour, so I knew I was running on fumes with a long way to go in either direction. And then one of the local men came up to me and said, don't worry. He looked at me in the eyes and said, don't worry, you're in the Himalayas and nothing goes wrong in the Himalayas, you'll be looked after. And he said, there's a couple of police on the other side of the bridge, just go and ask them. So I go over, it's now 8:30 at night, it's dark, it's moonlit. Remember, around here, leopards hold dominion at night. So I'm knowing if I get stuck out in this tiny, tiny shopping area with about 4 shops, overnight, I'm in the country where the leopards rule the night. So I asked the police, I asked the shops, they say no, nobody's got any petrol. I asked the police, they double check, nobody's got any petrol. Oceana goes off to a local temple to do some meditation to hopefully try and get some petrol out of nowhere for us. And I'm standing there on this moonlit, isolated bridge in the middle of the Himalayas, thinking I don't know what to do. I have no solution to this problem. And then I hear somebody calling out Greg. Now I had met Asha about 5 weeks earlier when I had just arrived, and I was here with my friend Charlie, and Charlie knew Asha, and we went out for a couple of meals together. So I'd met Asha very briefly. For some reason I turn around when somebody's calling out my name, and it's Asha. I realise it's Asha, and she's on her Royal Enfield because she's like this rebel on a horse. And there were car lights back lighting her. So there's Asha sitting on her freaking Royal Enfield in the middle of the Himalayas, who I met twice briefly a month ago. She's sitting there looking like Arwen on her elven horse, saying, hi Greg. Now this is a country of 1.3 billion people, and we're in the middle of nowhere. If she had been there 10 minutes earlier and gone through, I wouldn't have met her. And she says, no problem, there's a school down the road that's got some fuel, I'll go get that. And then she says, no, actually, I got a fuel tank of gas, we can siphon some petrol out. So some of the boys in the shops bring out a hose, we siphon out 2 litres of petrol into some old Coke bottles, put them into my Royal Enfield, and I get back to the yoga studio. But I'm just thinking, in a land of 1.3 billion people, half an hour from town, in the middle of nowhere, in almost the mountains of the Himalayas, the fact that I meet somebody there that I'd met for perhaps half an hour a month ago, has got to be it's statistically impossible. And since doing the Jyotish course, which was all about a 6,000-year-old Vedic science of astrology, I just wonder if there isn't such thing as synchronicity. And the man that I saw on the other side of the bridge, who said, don't worry, Greg, you're in the Himalayas, you'll be looked after, is more truth than synchronicity and 0% statistical chance. So that's the 2 stories. But I'd really like to introduce the woman of the hour, who I will be eternally grateful to, who won't even let me buy her a drink or a nice piece of jewellery to say thank you. She just thinks it's her dharma, I think, her duty in life to rescue idiots like me who run out of petrol in the Himalayan mountains. She's definitely Arwen on an elven horse to me. So we're going to have a quick chat to Asha, because I want to find out how on earth somebody who was born in southern India turns up in this magical saffron-soaked spiritual city of Rishikesh. So, Asha, sitting over there very quietly,
listening to you.
telling me not to, don't get me in the picture. Now you're in the picture, honey.
Hello all.
So Asha is 25 years old. I will ask you some questions because I'd like people to know who you are and why you're here. So, because you've got a really inspiring story, and you and I were just talking about the movie Monsoon Wedding, which kind of made me fall in love with, I can't remember, I think I saw it after I first came to India in 1992, where it was a very different India to where it is now. And then I think I watched the movie, came out after that, and I really fell in love with India, and I've had this love affair with India ever since. And I could very easily just stay in Rishikesh now and be very happy here. So Asha, tell us, you were born in Pune, am I right?
In Pune, then moved to different cities, traveling to different cities, experiencing what a world apart from a place that I was born looks like. Like that's what I've been doing. And
so you moved from, because Pune is down southwest of India,
correct.
and it's known for.
Right now it's known for, like, it's been always known for the heritage, the kind of food, vegetarian food varieties that it has, the culture of the Maharashtrian culture. Brahmins stay there a lot, and education now. A lot of people come there to study. A lot of people from different parts of India and as well as the world come there to study now. So it's like a education hub maybe. It's now education hub, and it's got a beautiful weather. Like, it's got mountains around it, and the city is right in the middle of the mountains.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's all, Western Ghats.
So I would like it because I'm a mountain person. I would like Pune.
I think, and that's why I think I've been always a mountain person. Maybe
Right.
that place connects to me.
And Shiva lives there. Shiva lives in the mountains.
Shiva lives in the mountains, yes.
And you're Shakti to the Shiva of the mountains. Parvati.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful Parvati.
That's a compliment, thank you.
And
Yes.
so then where did you move from? I say that because I'm fascinated by the spiritual history of India and the use of Ishtars to inspire people in their Dharma. That's why I'm so passionate about, and when I do Jyotish, I use the stories of the Ishtars because I find people really understand a lot more when you put it in your advice in a story, which I've also done in the past in my medical clinic. So, and are there famous temples in Pune?
Oh, there are a lot of them. The good part about Maharashtra overall, I would say, is that the temples or the forts or any places are really constructed in the mountains. Like you climb up to go to a temple, and the temples are really beautifully constructed. Like there is, let's take the Harishchandragarh fort, and it has a temple of Shiva. Okay, it's been carved out of one single stone, and
Oh, I've seen it, I think, on
Have you?
on the educational tool known as Instagram.
yes, and that's the beautiful part of the place. I think the mountains are not just mountains, but it's like a place you climb up to a temple, meditate, and then come back like that. And it's greener. It's like the weather is balanced because of the nature around it.
Okay. And that all sounds fantastic. Fantastic and beautiful and aesthetic and spiritual. But then, as life often does to us, and happened to me as well a couple of times, a massive challenge came along for you when you were 10 years old. You comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, I don't mind about talking. I think the movie that you said, right? The Monsoon Rain?
Monsoon Wedding?
Monsoon Wedding, yeah. This movie has, because I've come across a lot of videos on that movie on Instagram. I don't know how the algorithm picks up on that, but there have been few incidents of those movies, and not like one incident, but repetitive incidents that has impacted my life. It has formed traumas on my life. It has made me question really what is human, what is the role of me. Is it restricted to a family or beyond that, or how one really gets attached to the word called family, which is not at all maybe a reality for some people. It's not always the comfort space for some people. So yeah, incidents like this have been always occurring, always like periodically coming to me on and off like that, and that made me question that, okay, what is human really? What does humanity means at the ground level?
And the challenge, if you don't mind me saying, was that at the age of 10 you were adopted out, largely because of your gender.
Yes.
Is that a reasonable thing to say?
Yes, that's that family in India. Not all the families, but most of the families still feel like the villages, that women is still a burden on the house. Like maybe it's because still the dowry system continues in the houses. Maybe there's a insecurity that she might marry some intercaste guy and then ruin the family's image, or it's still a burden. It's considered still as a burden, and I was one of it. I was still one of the burden for family. Could be safety reason, could be anything. What happens in India and the surroundings also, that makes family vulnerable, that okay, having a girl child is still not a good decision. And yes, that was an incident. That was one thing that has been part of my journey.
And you said you had a very safe upbringing in that adopted family, but perhaps not the emotional connection that you would normally have with a family upbringing. I have two incredible daughters, so I'm very fortunate. So the idea of what happened to you is heartbreaking for me. Heartbreaking, because like in Monsoon Wedding,
Yeah.
it's an inspiring movie because the father was so in love with his two daughters, and then found out that, without giving the message away, found out that his best friend, who was an uncle to his daughters,
Yes.
had not been the man he thought he was, and then he was financing the wedding of one of the daughters, but it became very difficult family dynamic after this discovery of what had happened. So you got through all that, and you've come out to be this incredibly inspiring, for me, adventurous, incredibly spiritual person living in this incredible spiritual part of the world.
Yes.
Ma Ganga, Nick, Ma Ganga,
She.
not the Ganges, as Nick
It's
told me.
Ganga, yes.
Yeah, Ganga in India.
But I'll tell you about
Yeah.
how I connect to her. It's about the love that I've been always wanting to, and then it made me so vulnerable that I started looking out for people. Maybe no, they're not meant to be my part of my journeys, and then I started looking for alternative love of mother, of father.
Oh, I
of-
see. You're saying that's what happens to you because of your experience with the
Yes,
adoption.
yes.
That you say you became very passionate about making sure that doesn't happen to other people, and that's kind of where you feel like your dharma. Dharma in India, for those people who don't know, Dharma, is a sense of duty not perhaps for lifelong, but at the time what you think your sense of duty is. So you're saying that's kind of what you feel like your dharma is now.
Yes, right now all I feel connected to her is only because that I feel the immense love coming from her, the unconditional love which usually people feel it with mother. I feel it with her. The unconditional love from father, I feel it with her. And it's communication with her, you know. You sit here, it's never that you are alone sitting. You're speaking to her. You're like, she's always telling you, she's always, you know, listening to you.
And when you say speaking, is that a physical thing you're doing, or you're doing more during a meditation? You're speaking to her in your meditative mind, or are you actually physically here sitting talking to the river?
No, I don't speak to her by words. It's just the feeling that I'm connecting to her. She carries the layer of protection for me always, and I've been always feeling this ever since I have been around her. Not that I've been to Ganga a lot of times. This is my first time in my 25 years that I'm visiting Ganga.
How long have you been? Well, actually, we jumped ahead a little bit. Where did you? We'll come back to that. Where did you go after you left Pune?
I went to Bangalore, I went to Hyderabad, I went to cities that actually I kept on traveling.
Oh, yeah. And we've also bonded because the three of us, Asha, Charlie and I, are motorcycle fanatics. Oh, yes. I have a Triumph Tiger, and both Charlie and Asha were riding around Royal Enfield. So when does the motorcycle, tell us about because to me you're like James Dean, the female James Dean, the rebel on a motorbike, and I love that image for you. And because there's an Indian Ishtar called Durga, and I just see Asha as because Durga used to ride around on a tiger, so I see Asha as kind of like this female version of very protective Durga who came to save me when I was stuck in the mountains. So shout out to Devon, who we did the same story with. So tell me, what do motorcycles mean to you, and when did you develop this love affair with motorcycles?
I don't really remember, but it's been years, more than 5 years now that I am connected to motorbikes. And I remember one thing in a short when I was a child. No, I never had a dream of, big house, this and that, like I'll have a good career, I'll have a good job, stable income and all. I always remember that I had a dream that I will own my motorbike cycle. That's the only thing I kept pushing myself, like working for whatever, that was the only short goal that I had. And it made me more connected to it. I started going on motorbikes. I like feeling the wind with it. That's what kept me connecting to it, motorbiking. The wind is very different when you are on a motorbike rather than any car or any closed vehicle or any bus or anything. That's how I came into motorbiking. Okay. I love riding for the feeling wind around it.
And how old were you when you first got your motorcycle license?
I think I was 18 plus, 18 plus kind of, 19 kind of.
Kind of like I got a motorcycle first when I was 15, and for me, I had this 5M philosophy that some of you are aware of, and motorcycles is part of that. But obviously, I'm not talking about motorcycles as a mitochondrial health technique, but for me, motorcycles represent freedom. It allowed me to travel and get around when I couldn't before, and riding in the mountains, and particularly in the South Island of New Zealand, where Charlie and I will both be taking some, and maybe we'll get Asha down one day as well. In fact, no, we won't. We will, for some retreats in the South Island, through particularly around Aoriki, Mount Cook, and some of the other mountains where Lord of the Rings was filmed. So for me, it's freedom, and it allows me to get to the altitude in the mountains where my mitochondria become more sensitive to communication from biophotonic light and electromagnetic frequencies and vibration. So the big thing for me was they represent freedom, and as you said, it's as close to you and I going to get with the wind in our face to flying.
Yes.
Is freedom a big part of a motorcycle for you?
Yes, of course it is. One of the, you are free with your motorcycle. You can just leave, you can be yourself. And one thing, motorbiking alone, that's that's something a different conversation. When you're solo on your motorbike.
Okay, tell me.
No pillions. I don't like pillions.
Oh no, I'm with you.
Yes. I don't know.
Shout out to Oceana, you were fantastic. So we didn't mean it about you. You're amazing, and I wouldn't, if I hadn't been with you, I wouldn't have seen leopards. I wouldn't have been saved by Asha and having this conversation. So you're the exception, Oceana. You're amazing.
Yes, but I don't like pillions much. I don't really not like if there's anybody who I connect to and I trust as a good pillion. Like you said, you choose your pillion.
Yes,
and it is
choose.
like a big decision to choose the right pillion.
Well, the high idea of pillion passengers, I think they become one with you. You don't want two people on the road, right? You want one person or two people becoming one, and then it's fine.
Correct.
Then it's
You're
fine.
very right.
So if you have an experienced pillion passage, it can be a delight.
Right, and that's exactly how I feel, I think, about pillion, and I love going solo and freedom. When I say freedom, right, with motorbiking, how it has given me freedom, this is very right at the bottom. Let's say I want to go anywhere and I feel that instant thought that I want to just go. I can just pick up my bike, I can just put my gears on, and no matter what time it is, I'm so safe with my motorbike. Even in Bangalore, I've left at like 2 o'clock in the early morning, 3 o'clock in the early morning, gone on the ghats of the road, like the mountains, and then came back. So it has given me a confidence, actually. Motorbiking has given me that safety that nothing can happen to me, nothing wrong can happen to me. All the traumas that were there in my mind or myself found because of childhood things, motorbike gave me that assurity that you are safe around me. Nobody can harm you.
Oh, that's so profound.
So
I love that.
It is actually, it's that freedom. It's that it means to me, and I'm not scared to go alone anytime because that guy has been always protecting me, no matter where. It's a machine still, but it gives you a feeling, and if it connects you somewhere, it helps you somewhere. I don't mind getting attached to it. For if it is a momentary happiness, I don't mind getting to it at all.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I want to close out in a second, but first I got to ask a motorcycle question, then we're going out with a spiritual philosophical question. If you're riding now a Himalayan 450, 350,
350, yes.
350.
Hunter 350 now.
Oh,
Hunter.
when did that change?
Himalayan.
Or was it always?
It's always Hunter here.
It's always.
Yeah,
But is
Hunter.
it a Hunter Royal Enfield?
Yes, it's Royal Enfield.
Oh, I see. So it's a Royal Enfield Hunter, not versus a Royal Enfield Himalayan.
No, yeah, Himalayan is a separate model. The one you had?
Yes.
Yes.
The Himalayan's more of an adventure bike.
Yes, it's a trail and adventure and also cruising at some point, yes.
Okay. If you could choose any motorbike to have in Rishikesh, what would you choose?
Hunter 350 still.
Oh, I knew she was going to say that. I knew. Asha, the spiritual rebel on the Royal Enfield. I knew you'd say it.
Yeah, it's still the same back and I don't want to go to any bike yet.
Okay.
If it happens naturally, then I'm
Right.
happy, welcome. I have my... Oh, Hunter is called Akri. Akri means warrior.
Oh, nice.
I've named Hunter Akri.
Okay, motorcycle's over. You and I were discussing a spiritual concept which I have embraced continuously since coming to India to study yoga, meditation, Jyotish, pranayama, and that's the concept of radical surrendered optimism. And the thing about radical surrendered optimism from my perspective, and I had to come to this decision last year, was that you can't be in the bucket of radical surrendered optimism when things are good and out when things are bad. It's a whole concept that you trust in the universe, that everything's happening for a reason. And as people know, I've had some tough times over the last 8 years, and they continue, because that's not yet resolved about how I practice medicine. But if none of that had happened, I wouldn't have started doing yoga. If none of that had happened, I wouldn't have ended up coming to Rishikesh last year to do training. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here studying Jyotish, sitting with this amazing woman, sitting beside Ma Ganga, having a discussion about spirituality. So I'm very grateful for all of those things, which at the time thought were great, devastating challenges for me. So I decided late last year that I'm fully into the concept of radical surrendered optimism, and I surrender to the power of the universe or God or the intelligent creation, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call the ocean. I'm not going to sit beside the ocean where on one side is the Pacific Ocean and the other side is the Atlantic Ocean and have an argument with Asha about the name of the ocean. So that's why I'm going to go with Divine Mother or creative intelligence. And that's my life's work now, is with the mitochondria to show, and the proton motive force and the electron flow in the mitochondria. How important are mitochondria? 3 seconds important. They're detecting biophotonic light, vibration, sound, all of which is coming from the universe. So that's my dharma now, to show the link between those two. So Asha, please tell us how you see radical surrendered optimism, because you've arrived in a very northern city of India of 1.3 billion people without a plan. Let's say when you first got here, came here with a small bag and a Royal Enfield, and you surrendered to it. So tell us a little bit about what happened when you got here, what you're doing now, and your feelings on the radical surrendered optimism concept.
This is interesting. I mean, this is a concept that, yes, before Charles was something also talking about it.
Shout out to Charlie.
And when you were talking about radical surrender optimism, one thing that came in my mind is that, this saves you from the impressions that could be formed from an incident. Impressions could be good, bad, or anything, because we always are stuck because of the impressions. So when you surrender,
what you're saying is, and Nick and I talked about this yesterday, what you're saying is, when you're saying impressions, the meaning that we give to the Viktor Frankl concept of it's not the event, it's the meanings we give it to it. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes. So this saves us from that, because our karmas gets formed because of that, right? And if we don't really practice it, I think the karmas will pile up, like the impressions will pile up, and then again you work on yourself to purify, clean it, and etc. So yes, I think this really helps in one way. It clears automatically because you're just letting yourself go. You're just like, okay, I'm ready.
That's the surrendered part, isn't it? That's the beautiful part.
That is the beautiful part. Like, you're not at all putting any impressions in your mind. And yes, this thing I indirectly have been always following, because moving to a place from a life, like carrying all my 25 years of my life to a place, it couldn't have happened if I was not ready. Like, I did not surrender for it, because one thought was always like, okay, if I had thought a lot of things about, like, do I go or not, I wouldn't be here. Maybe I wouldn't be like receiving things which I am receiving right now.
And if you weren't here, Oceana and I would still be walking somewhere in the hills dodging the leopards. So thank goodness you're here. That's some optimism for me that she was here.
Yes. So this is beautiful part, that when I had to move to Rishikesh, I did not think about. Within a day, it decided that I am going to be in Rishikesh. And what really, how did I decide to be with my bag and all? So in the beginning, when I wanted to pack my things, I only kept, okay, what are the things that will not make me miss my roots, make me miss my city, Bangalore, which has been always my city where I connected. So what are the few things for a couple of weeks that will not make me miss my city? So it was the elephant collection that I always have mine. I connect to elephants a lot. I have a tattoo also here. Elephants. It's a family.
Tattoo. Oh, it's interesting.
It's
and it's Ganesha or it's elephants?
And Ganesha is, the head of Ganesha has been taken from elephant's head. So yeah, elephant is my animal.
Because it wasn't that long ago that elephants were. I know my yoga teacher was telling me that when he grew up here, and I think he's 45 now, when he was growing up here, elephants would walk through.
If you're still here, if you go take your bike, you'll
you
elephants.
Can still?
Yes, as for the elephants right on the Ganga also.
Oh, you can still see them around.
You can see.
I missed that. Okay, next time, Asha, we're going out on a bike to find some elephants.
And that's when I decided, within a day, okay, it's going to be Rishikesh. I didn't know what I was going to do there. I didn't actually really know what was my goal coming here also.
That's the surrendered optimism.
Yes, and I just, okay, let's go.
And it's radical. It's radical.
It's radical. Let's just go. And now I'm here. Again, I'm not troubling myself. What do I do ahead next? No, I just like the moment right now. But within heads here that I'm not becoming lazy. I am not just lethargic to things that are happening, because it happens in this energy. This energy is so comforting that some people have, some incidents that I've seen, that they're just gone lethargic, they're diverted from it. They are not going back to the materialism and all. But I am connected to my, the materialistic life. I'm not disconnected from it.
Okay.
But still practicing spirituality.
So what are you doing here now?
I meditate, I practice yoga, I connect to people from yoga. I also work for yoga school.
Where you get accommodation there, don't
Yes,
you? So
yes, yes. Yes, I connect to people. That's what I do. I listen to people. I listen to what they want to express out, and I don't feel any, benefits from it. If I am a human being, I should be a human. That's it.
And at the moment, you'd say that this feels like your dharmic heart's journey.
Yes.
I'd love to do your Jyotish chart one day and see. That'd be fascinating.
A lot of people have suggested you should actually do it. I did not trouble myself that I should, because it then.
Oh, you've never done it?
No.
Oh, okay. You and me. We'll make a time for that.
Yes, we will. So this has been.
I'm actually getting quite good at it, so I think you'll enjoy the process.
Okay. I will then need to come prepared. What do you need and all that things.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but since childhood I never did Jyotish thing.
Okay.
I never wanted to know what I was going to be in future or what am I in today. I just went with my experience.
I'll do a Jyotish reading for Asha, which is, because I know you now, I know what you would like to hear. What part of your life you'd like to know about.
So that was it. This is it. This is my journey, right?
And how long do you think you might be staying in Rishikesh for?
I don't know.
Don't know?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, don't want to know? Radical surrendered optimism?
Again, yes.
Of course, remember with Nick yesterday, I kept asking Nick in the video why he decided to build his retreat in the mountains of Colorado. And he kept glaring at me and said, Greg, I didn't choose anything. I did not choose to build it there. I was drawn to there. I was pulled there. And it's the same with you. You were drawn here because you needed this relationship with Ma Ganga.
Yes.
Maybe that one day changes, and you'll find that out when you need it.
And have you not noticed ever in your life that there's an inner universe always working on things for you? You just have to listen to it more. Like there is an universe that is there. There is inner self or inner universe that always keeps on working. Like me landing in a land of spirituality out of nowhere. Come on, I never thought in my mind, in my conscious, but it just happened, right?
Well, that's the trust and the surrender, isn't it? Because it might not feel like it at the time.
Yes.
They're going to be things that you go through. You're being adopted out at the age of 10. Probably didn't feel fantastic at the time. But you also probably wouldn't change it, because if that happened, you wouldn't be sitting here. If that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be sitting here by Ma Ganga,
Correct.
Communicating with her.
If I had an easy life, I don't think so I would be here. Right?
No, exactly.
It was this was recent realization that I was just talking about, that I keep telling myself again and again that whatever is happening to me, it's part of my journey. It is supposed to be part of my journey. Else the journey wouldn't be, taking me to a place which it wants me to, the universe wants me to go. And it is just that everyday reminder that, okay, whatever comes, it's just part of my journey. It is just going to be it is going to give me something, or not even give me, but it is meant to happen to me. So when you say radical surrender optimism, if it is not this, then tell me what it is more. Like being just...
Asha, you're a very beautiful young woman. You're incredibly generous, and you have wisdom well beyond your years. Thank you so much for our talk. Thank you so much for appearing as Arwen on your elven horse.
That's how you see it.
That's how I see it, and I'm not going to change that for you. That's the meaning I've given it. Thank you for that. I'll be eternally grateful that I'm not still wandering the foothills of the Himalayas looking for some petrol. Thank you to Ma Ganga for supporting us today. And you can see the Indian people here beside the river paying their respects to this incredible spiritual place.
See you in the video.
Oh, Shiva, behind us. I didn't realise that. He's been sitting here with us the whole time.
Yeah, he's been always here.
You said these are the steps that you come to
Yes.
often.
I sit here all over.
That's Lakshman Jewel Bridge down there, and when Nick and I did the interview yesterday, we were just kind of on this side of the bridge. So, and there's another big bridge just round the bend of the river down there, and that's called
Janki and Ram Setu.
Janki and Ram Setu.
Two bridges.
Two
are
bridges.
There. Ram Setu is only for human to walk. Janki Jula is for
Oh
two-wheelers.
yes, okay. And then the Shivananda Ashram is just opposite at the end of one of those bridges. And anybody who comes to Rishikesh, the Shivananda Ashram, Shivananda used to be a doctor and then kind of after a while moved into an area of spirituality and set up a massive ashram here. And that man is incredible, and I've read some of his books, and his ashram is incredibly inspiring, including a hospital that local people can get free treatment for. Well worth visiting the Shivananda Ashram for anybody who comes to Rishikesh. Why no rafts today? River just too high for the rafting, I presume?
Oh yes. It is like the government keeps a regulation, rules and regulation that at certain times the water tides like are high, so they close it.
Okay.
And now on 14th of September the rafting will be open, but it's very risky right now, so that even when I went a day before, my boat turned. I was
geez.
bleeding.
No.
Yes, it was a thrill. It was a wonderful thrill.
Why did I realise you're going to find that a thrill?
I loved it. Before the rafting actually gets closed, I wanted to experience rafting in the higher waters. And I went with experts under their guidance. They saved me. There was a kayak guy. I was like in a washing machine going in the tides. Like the raft turned upside down. I was locked inside and I had to swim out, come out. And there's this kayak guy saving me like a savior. Like, come on, I'm here with you. And then I holded him. He's like, go and swim to the raft.
Nice.
Beautiful experience,
Nice.
I swear.
And I promise you, when you come to New Zealand, we'll get your Royal Enfield 350 to ride up into the mountains with us as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Remember, never give up. If you've got something out of the video, make sure you give it a like, share the video. I really want to thank Asha again for her time. And we'll see you. I've got another video coming out tomorrow where a friend of mine, April, and I are going to discuss some of the scientific links between the mitochondria and some of the more spiritual approaches that we want to compare, see if there is scientific evidence for some of the spiritual approach to life through the mitochondria. So stay tuned for that one for April and I tomorrow. Thanks so much, Asha. See you later, everybody. Peace and love. Bye.
See you.
Namaste. Jai Shri Ram.